All right, here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do create polygon tool. So if I go to the mesh tools and create polygon tool, this is where the tool is. I hold shift control left click. It brings it up to my shelf right here. My tool is armed. I click on the tool. I want to draw on the grid. I do not want to draw off into space. I don't want to draw on a side view when I'm in a perspective camera. I can draw on the side, but we have to change cameras. So I want to look down onto the grid like this. So what I'm going to do is we want to note while I'm doing this the direction, in order in which I create this polygon. So the first one I'm going to go in clockwise. I'm just going to click onto the grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hit enter to close the tool to finish it off. Enter. And we can see that I've created a polygon here. What I'm going to now do is I'm going to hit the G key. So if I hit the G key, it brings up the last tool that I just worked with, which saves you a lot of time. Now I don't have to go back over here. I can just hit G and my tool's armed again. So this time I'm going to go counterclockwise. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to hit enter. Look at the two polygons. They look different. Yes? One is black. One has the light gray shading on it. Let's take this a little bit further. Let's actually inspect what's going on here. So let's go over here. I'm going to go to display, and I'm going to go down to polygons, and I want to go down to the very bottom. I'll leave it up on the board for a second. This is a custom polygon display. This is my weapon of choice when I have to do detective work. If I'm working on a model and something's wrong with that model, and I have to figure out where the problem is, I go to the CPD, because I always put it up on my shelf. It just says CPD. But the CPD display, this is really useful. This is your Sherlock Holmes detective kit to kind of figure stuff out. So I hope everybody has it up. I'm going to open it. Let's look. Here we are. So this is a custom polygon display. I'm in here all the time. And what we can do is we can basically bring up additional information, attributes about this polygon, about the polygons in general. Keep in mind, it's the same as the attribute editor. The custom polygon display is only going to affect what's selected in the scene. If it's not selected, if only one thing is selected, that's the only thing that's being affected by this display. If you don't have anything selected, I can start clicking stuff and nothing's going to happen. So I have to have the object in question selected in object mode, not component mode. So like right click, if I'm in like edges, it's not really going to work right now. I need to be in object mode right here. All right, so the edges should be green, not light blue. All right, so what I want to do is, if I go into the custom polygon display, we'll be going in, I'll come in here a fair amount, so you'll get to see it more often. But what we're concerned with, we're concerned with the faces. Just if I didn't know what I was looking at, I would just say something doesn't look right. Something is wrong with this face. It's not working the same way as the other one does. So what we can do is I can select them both. I do a sweeping selection, so I just drag across, or I can click on one and shift click on the other if I wanted. And I've done the same thing. And then what I can do is we want to come, if we look at the custom polygon display, we can see how it's organized. The first section is going to give us information about the vertex. The second one is going to give us information about the edges. And then the final one is going to give us information about the faces. All right? So we can basically call up different information about, the three sort of components of a polygon. And if we come down here, if we go a little bit further, there's a little section here called backface culling. All right? And what that's going to do is it's going to eliminate the back face of your model. Let's do it. So if everybody can, we select them both, and I want you to have it set to backface culling turned to on, and then I want you to click apply. So we click apply. And look what happens. If you were watching, as soon as I hit apply, that polygon just disappeared. Right? This is called backface culling. So if we watch again, here I go. I'm going to look at the underside. Now I'm flipping from one side to the other. And now the other one appears, it disappears. Appears, disappears. All right? Everybody get it? All right. So what's the idea that's going on here? the basic idea of backface culling. Does anybody know? I know some people know, but they're not saying. Basically, backface culling, think of it like this. If I'm playing, the newest PlayStation 4 game, I've got a character. He's got like a super high-res looking face. He's got maybe 10,000 polygons on the face. Like super normal maps. It's like super high-res. The thing is, if the computer has to render the front side of the face, and then it has to render the back side of the face, which is inside of his head, and no one will ever see, it takes twice as much like computational power to pull that off than it would just to render one side of the face. Does this make sense to everybody? It's like half the effort. This is why we do backface culling, and this is like very much part of real-time 3D gaming. Like you're always culling the back faces. You don't want to render anything that you're not going to use. So basically, what does it mean? It means that we can load bigger models without having to kind of pull the weight of the backside. All right, so what's going on here? When I draw a polygon counterclockwise, that polygon will face me. If I draw it clockwise, it will face away from me. We can turn the faces on. So let's do that now. So we can actually see the direction of the face. We can see the directions of the verts and the edges as well. But it very, very rarely do you get in, like, I don't know many students who have ever done that or needed to do it. So what we want to do is still have everything selected, and I'm going to go into the face section here, and I'm going to turn on normals. So what the normal is it's a line which is going to give us the direction of the face. It shows us the direction that the face is actually pointing. So I turn on the normal, I hit apply, and if you look very closely, I saw it happen, there's a little line right there. That is my normal direction. This is the face, this is the direction of the polygon right now. And if we come to the other one, we can see that this is facing in the opposite direction. This one is here, and then this one is here. Problems set in when you guys make models and you have some faces in one direction and some faces in the other direction. If this is the case, you got problems. Like, you didn't come from my class. So you just got to keep all your faces in a general direction. If your faces start getting flipped, sometimes you can hit errors, like when you actually try to load that geometry. So this could be a concern or just something to know. You have to know about the normals and the direction of the faces. This is the foundation of polygon modeling. This is basically foundational skills. This is the very sort of ground up. All right, so does everybody get that? Everybody's sort of okay? Confusion? Someone speak. Yes, Julian, what do you think?
I'm all good. But
You're
I'm
all...
not the one that needs it.
Somebody else. Anybody? Jarrett. Everything's good? All right, cool. All right, so now let's go forward. From here, what are we going to do? You've got polygons, you've got faces. What we can also do is we can flip these faces. So I can tell, I know this is boring, but it's important. We can make the faces change direction. And this is how you would fix a model that had faces which were going back and forth. A lot of times when you get models which are online and they're free from the internet, you get tons of flipped faces. Like half the model will be flipped and the other half won't be. And you have to kind of flip them. By the time you fix it, it's faster to make it yourself. So let's flip this face back. So what I can do is I can go under Mesh Display. They've also changed this location. Then I go down to here and it's reverse. I want to reverse the direction of the normal. So I go reverse and we'll see that one disappears and this one comes forwards. Cool. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come. Yeah?
Sorry, I missed where you grabbed reverse. You went to Mesh Display and then...
Mesh Display reverse. So it's Mesh Display and reverse right here at the top.
There.
Yeah. Good. Speak up if I miss you. Like if I'm going too quick, please. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn backface culling off because backface culling actually becomes kind of annoying after a certain amount of time. One of the other problems with backface culling, just so you guys know, I can't select verts. I can't make selections on the back side of the model. So if I go right click and we go to vert right there. So I can see the verts. I come over to this one and I'm going to go right click, or the other one's not selected. But if I come here and I make a sweeping selection, it did. Okay. I guess in older versions, there were times where you couldn't make selections. It has to be in the settings, which allow you to either select the back faces. There were times when you couldn't do that. Okay, so what else are we going to do? Let's delete this stuff. You've seen the custom polygon display. We'll come back there in the future. Right-click. Let's clean out our scene. I'm going to delete this one, and let's kill this one off over here. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to create a teddy bear. For everybody who was in my class before, you've all done the teddy bear exercise.